pretty like self-conscious in the beginning, but then now I'm noticing like I'm like just digging in there sometimes. I'm like, God, I just don't care at all now.
I want to make sure to keep those clips on us when that happens.
You just need to make a blooper reel and just throw it out there one day. You'd probably get another extra 500 followers.
An extra initial, you mean?
Come on.
So, Dell, thank you for coming on, man.
Right on. I'm excited.
So, Vital Functional Fitness is out in West Columbia, right?
Brazoria. Yeah.
What's the difference?
About 8 minutes.
Is it 8?
It's about 8 minutes, yeah.
Wow.
We're out in Brazoria.
So the physical address is 811 South Brooks. But let's see, it would be on the south end of Brazoria. Pretty much Brazoria is like a straight shot.
Yeah.
Like you drive down Highway 36, cross the tracks. There's like, and then that's it. Split in half.
Really?
So on the south end of Brazoria, we have 2 Buc-ee's in Brazoria. Did y'all know that?
A brand new one, right?
Yeah. So they rebuilt one.
Yeah.
And then I think it was like Buc-ee's number 2, which I think it was like one of their moms or something like that store is on the south end of town. It was like, it was there, like the second Buc-ee's they ever built or something like that, or 2 or 3. And then, so they're like, it's nostalgia. There's like no reason to keep it at all because they have this brand new Buc-ee's literally.
It's huge.
It's a mile away.
Yeah.
And they have one a mile down the road for no reason at all other than nostalgia. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, because you're in Brazoria. So then, like, if you were to turn right at Stewart's and go that way, you're talking about that Buc-ee's?
That's the big Buc-ee's.
So now it's a big Buc-ee's. That used to be a small little gas station. Like, I mean, it is a gas station.
Yeah,
but.
and then they built a bigger one. Or no, I'm sorry.
That's
the small one, the original one south. They keep renovating it, every 10 years or so. Yeah. Keep it up.
Keeping that sweet little spot, huh?
Yeah, man. I think it's like Mama's Spot or something. I have no idea.
I think it was around when I used to go to Brazoria when I was in elementary school. So we used to go there, and it wasn't as big. It was just Buc-ee's. It wasn't a thing to it. It wasn't the clean restrooms Buc-ee's it is now.
I thought that was the thing of Buc-ee's. They've always been clean.
I don't know about that one. That was like a one-off, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know. It's like definitely a more. It's their thing for sure. I don't know.
Mr. Buc-ee's from here, isn't he?
They're from Lake Jackson, I believe. I don't know if they were Brazoria, Lake Jackson. They're from that area. I know. Yeah.
Okay. So what made you get into fitness? Have you been into fitness your whole life?
No, absolutely not. No. So, I mean, okay. So through school, I did homeschool, and then through it's called TAPS program, you could play sports at the Gulf Coast Christian Center in West Columbia. So I played some football, soccer with them, stuff like that, and baseball when I was little. So stayed active, and even after high school, I was active, but I hated any exercise outside of a game or sport, right? Like let's go train, let's lift weights. I'm like, nah, bro, I'm out on that. Hated it, absolutely hated it. About 27 years old, I think it was, 26 or 27. I was like, dude, I got to do something. So I was pretty big at the time.
What was your weight?
What's big?
225 for 5'9.5" guy.
225, and what are you at now?
About 190.
Okay.
Low I got when I was at my lowest, like when I was running, I got down to about 170. People were asking if I was sick, because I was so thin at the time. Like not to my face, to my wife. They'd be like, "What's wrong with your husband?"
Yeah. Wow. What's going on with Dylan? 190 at 5'9"?
Yeah, I'm about 5'9.5", but yeah,
you got some muscle on you.
Look at his arms.
That's like my weight. I'm like pretty tall.
But you're like 7 foot tall, like we talked about earlier. So that's different. It's deceiving with tall people.
Yeah.
Like you see somebody and you're like, oh, they look like they weigh 150 for sure. And he's like 225.
Yeah. You can never tell. You're like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, it was big. Kid on the way, or no, we had one already, and I think we were about to have our second daughter. And I was like, dude, I got to do something. This is getting bad, And so it just started off simple things. Just quit drinking sugary drinks. Started going and working out and just lifting weights by myself at the rec center in Lake Jackson.
Okay.
Just lifting some weights. And then a buddy of mine, Josh Guffey, he's like, dude, you should come over and lift with me at Powerhouse. And so I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do it. So I hopped over with him. Well, then once I get over there, I realized I know like a lot of people that lifted there. My uncle lifted there. So between Josh and my uncle, I was in it for 2 years just lifting. And I lost 20 pounds just by, the bare minimum of cleaning up your diet. Let's say clean up your diet. I quit drinking sweet tea. Okay, my wife can make like it's delicious.
Sugar,
sweet, but it's like syrup. And
Yeah.
that's, So I just quit drinking sweet tea. Like that's literally it, and started exercising some, just lifting weights.
Were you drinking like alcohol and soda, things like that?
No, very little soda, but no alcohol. Never have drank. It's never been my thing.
I was thinking that. So never a drink ever?
No.
It's impressive.
I guess, you know, it's like at this point in my life, I'm like, I don't really need it. Why start now?
Right.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
It's so taboo. Like if you don't drink these days.
I don't ever have nobody ever like harasses me about it. You know, like when we're out in public, like if we're hanging out with friends, you know, they're all having a beer or whatever. And I'm like, they don't, you know, of course the occasional joke, like, oh, you want one, Dale? Because
they know.
But it's very mild.
What's your answer when they do that?
I'm just saying, no, I'm good.
You don't ever play around with it?
No.
You should make them order one and then don't drink it.
I already had a few.
Yeah. So,
Well,
that's the bare minimum. That's what got me in the door.
That's interesting. That's all, because that's really all it takes, right? Is just to cut out like those small adjustments, make that big of an impact.
Yeah, and that's what I tell people now. Like, just start small. Like, you know, what should I do? And they expect this elaborate answer. I'm like, just do one thing right now, and let's go from there. You know, what is one thing we can fix? And usually it leads to the next thing and the next thing. And if they really love it, they'll stick with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, lifted there. And then back to Josh, he tells me, like, hey, dude, my membership's about to run out. Let's buy our own gear and just work out in your garage. And I'm like, dude, I fought it for like probably 2 months straight. I'm like, nah, dude, this is crazy. You want to spend like $1,000 a piece on equipment, and we're going to get what? A barbell, a few bumper plates, and maybe a rack, you know, to squat in or something like that. I was not about it at all, because I'm like, you have like a bajillion machines at Powerhouse, and you can do
like $30 a month.
Yeah, exactly. And so finally I give in. I'm like, let's do it. So right away we go back to our normal lifting. You know, we're just going in and doing bench press, some deadlifts, the occasional squats, stuff like that. And then he like pulls up this website one day, and I like have no idea really what's going on at all. He's like, hey, let's do this workout on CrossFit.com, you know.
Uh-oh.
He hits me with it, and I'm like, all right, whatever, dude. We do a workout. I'm like, that was really hard and really fun, you know. So next thing you know, like, I'm like all in, dude. I fell in love with it, with the methodology.
Yep.
So, and that was it. So now here we are.
So that pretty much just springboarded you to start vital functional fitness.
Well, yeah. So we spent almost a year and a half in my garage, and it grew to like 3 of us, me, Josh, Lucas. And then we'd have like people come in, pop in randomly, and like it's a 1-car garage. Like,
oh no,
it's tight, you know, and we're running down the street and dropping kettlebells in the front yard. I got in trouble for that because it'd be like massive craters.
no way.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Cause like, you know, if it was like raining or something, like, you know, the same week, and then you drop a 45, 53 pound kettlebell from overhead into the grass. It was just like half of it disappears.
That's
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, spent a year and a half there.
What were you doing during that transition? What was your career path there?
Building houses, and I still build houses.
Okay.
So, build custom homes, mosaic builders in Brazoria. So yeah, that was my main vocation. That's what I did to make, you know, feed my family.
Okay.
So yeah, year and a half in the garage. Year and a half, my buddy Josh moves to a new place. They have a big shop. It was like 50 by 40 or 50 by 50. So we're like in heaven, right? Massive building. And we still have one tiny squat rack, 2 barbells, and a few bumper plates.
Look pretty sad, huh?
Yeah. We're like, we got all this space, you know. And we spent another year and a half there. And people were just started coming to work out with this.
Were you doing any advertising or anything?
Absolutely not. Other than, like, you know, we're posting on, like, joking around on Instagram, hey, we're lifting, whatever. But it just word of mouth gets around that you're lifting weights and you're running around and you're climbing ropes and whatever, you know. Right. And next thing you know, people are showing up. And next thing you know, I'm like, dude, this is cool. So really Vital, I didn't really plan to start Vital whenever I went to get my trainer certification, like with CrossFit. So I get my level 1 cert with them, and it was like really just for the knowledge of it at the time. Like, hey, I just want to do this, just simply so I have it. I think it would be cool to do this. And, it took me about 2 months after that to go, no, dude, this could be a business. I love doing this. I love teaching people. And so, I just went from there.
That's crazy that you weren't into fitness at all growing up. And at what age? You said like 21, 22?
No. Like I was playing sports all through this time, right?
Yeah.
Even when I was at my biggest, I would like still playing basketball, soccer, volleyball, something like once or twice a week, but still like putting on the pounds, man. No, it was about 26 or 27 whenever I really started like pursuing it, like, okay, I'm going to do this, for like really try to get healthy and stuff.
All right. So Vital Functional Fitness is it part of CrossFit or is it not CrossFit or
no? Yeah.
Okay.
So here's how that works. CrossFit is you can affiliate with them, pay a fee, affiliate with them.
Yep.
So about the time I was starting the business, there's a few things going on inside CrossFit's like headquarters. This was before all the CEO, when it got popular. This is before that.
Right.
There were some things that were going on and I just didn't agree with. And I was like, man, don't I want to pay them $3,000 to use the title of CrossFit on my doors? And I was like, I don't think I do. And so I was like, I'm going to attempt to go it alone. We train in the methodology. That's the truth. We just don't advertise we're CrossFit.
Right.
Does that make sense? It's not legal for us to do that.
Well, they don't own. Isn't that crazy? Like it's functional movement. They don't own functional movement methodology.
But you don't. The only thing you can't say is that you're CrossFit.
Yeah.
You can do all the same moves and the same names. I mean, these names weren't all made from CrossFit, right?
Oh, you mean like the workout names or something like that? Yeah, most of them were created in CrossFit.
So are they like trademarked?
No, not trademarked. Like,
so you're good.
Yeah. So we'd literally just like if we don't advertise, hey, we're a CrossFit gym.
Yeah.
That's literally the difference.
Do people like the functional? I feel like functional movement these days is really catching fire compared to like traditional lifting. Is that what you're seeing or no?
I mean, you still have thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of people that go to Globo gyms and lift weights.
Yeah.
Right. That's just the facts. I don't know what the functional fitness movement is exactly, but it's in the hundreds of thousands as well.
Yeah.
I think for me, it was the constantly variedness of it, the high skill movements of some of the Olympic lifts. It caught my attention right away, like clean and jerk, snatch, learning some high skill gymnastics, stuff like that. It really caught my attention and it made me love the process of learning something. So like, it's not, don't get me wrong, there's nuances to like getting good at bench press. And if you want to deadlift 700 pounds, you better learn how to there's some technique involved. You don't just go over there and grab a bar, right? But for the general population to do a bicep curl, there's not a whole lot to it, right? So I fell in love with the process of learning and like loving the movement patterns, and it's more than obviously way more than just the Olympic lifting, but that's how I kind of fell in love with it, though.
Yeah.
Was kettlebells involved in the early days of CrossFit?
Big time.
All the time?
All the time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like like you were saying, functional movements are becoming more of the workout than your traditional gym workouts. And do you see you going away from the Olympic style lifting and going more to like the kettlebell, like what we're hearing now, like the animalistic type movements? Yeah.
So no, we don't do. Okay, so we use kettlebells. Okay, let me preface this. We don't get into like the kettlebell flow stuff so much. Russian swings, American swings, of course, lunges with them, thrusters, snatches.
So nothing abstract. You're just it's the same, like
pretty much the same
fundamentals.
Yeah, the very fundamental of it. So this might help you understand like where like I'm coming from with the whole thing. Like I like to think of where we like to be, and this is the methodology that they teach at CrossFit as well. You could kind of take like all these circles of like different styles of fitness or formats, whatever you want to call it. So you have it running at highest level, from the average, let's go run a mile to 5K or whatever to track stars and ultra athletes, right? And then you have.
Get as close as possible.
You can move it to your mouth if you want.
Yeah.
Then you don't have to go back.
So then you take those guys. You take the guys who do Olympic weightlifting at the highest level, clean and jerk snatch, that are lifting, girls that are lifting, that weigh 100 pounds, that are putting 300 pounds over their head. It's crazy stuff. You take that. You take, let's say, powerlifting, the guys who are bench pressing and deadlifting and back squatting. That's their main thing. You take the kettlebell guys who just love to play with the kettlebell all day. You take gymnastics, you take all these different calisthenics, you take all these different modalities, and we like to live fringes of all of them.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So we try not to delve too far into any of them, because then we feel like you lack in another area. So the more well-rounded we can be in the whole thing, in your fitness, if we feel like you can be a better athlete.
Yeah, you're like a jack of all trades, pretty much.
Yeah, so enough skill that you stand out from the average person, but not so much that you're like, dude, you're probably gonna, you should stop worrying about other this and go do this as a job. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it works out well. I like it for that reason, because it allows me to go, my buddy who is a power lifter, right? And he literally deadlifts 700 pounds. I can have a conversation with him about deadlifting, heavy loads, right? And then on the other hand, talk to an ultra runner. I'm like, dude, yeah, been there, done that. There's things in common with everybody, right?
Yeah.
And you can kind of dive into all of it because you have some experience and some skill in every single one of them. And so we like to live in that area, kind of in the middle, have a little bit of all of it.
With that being said, you were going to go originally into the CrossFit kind of realm, which you are in, but is there anything that sets you apart other than that, that would differ you, from traditional CrossFit gyms?
No, I wouldn't say so. Honestly, the deal with CrossFit is because each affiliate is owned by an individual, they're just branding with the name. Mm-hmm. So even inside CrossFit, I think there's that's a crazy number, 10, 15,000 affiliates or something like that throughout the world. Every single one of them is uniquely owned and operated. So if somebody was a powerlifter and that's their main thing, they're probably going to be biased towards powerlifting. We want you to deadlift 500 something pounds, or right. That's you're going to get a strong movement probably in that area. Same thing with okay, you have somebody's heavy in the running side. You're probably going to get some of that more, bias towards that. Yeah. So every single one is extremely unique, I would say. And we're no different. I don't think there's anything that says our programming is different at all. I don't think, it's all touching it all. In that aspect, I think the biggest thing that it comes down to every single gym is how well do you take care of the people that are walking through the doors, right? Yeah. If you can take care of the members that walk through your doors, you're going to be successful. That's just all there is to it. Build strong relationships with them, make sure they move well, so that we're avoiding as many injuries as possible. I mean, if you're doing anything, there's chance of injury. It doesn't matter what you do, but making sure we're moving through proper movement patterns, we're teaching you the right way. You do that, that's the bare minimum of those things, you're going to have a successful gym, So, yeah.
That's cool. You originally didn't work out before, and then y'all did one of those workouts. Y'all looked it up, and you're like, wow, this was fun, and it was really hard to do. When CrossFit first came out, it was like a big boom. Everybody was into it. What do you think is in the water with CrossFit? Do you think I like how you said, it's different skills, heavy lifting or ultra marathon. You bring all of these different people that have something to say, and you can kind of relate with those people. But you're also doing things hard together. Whereas if you go to a traditional gym, you're working by yourself. Do you think it's the camaraderie that makes people like CrossFit, and the goals, everybody's kind of trying to hit a goal? And you write stuff on the board, and you try to do better the next week. What's the addictive aspect to CrossFit that make people want to keep going back?
Shared suffering. That is one of the biggest things. If you can share, if you suffer with somebody standing next to you, you're going to do, or by you, you're going to work harder knowing that they're experiencing the same thing, right? It's just science, man.
It's like the military, right?
Well, it's no different than if I went on a solo run And, I'm like, okay, well, the plan is, to run 5K today.
Right.
And then I'm like, I passed the house. I'm like, this is good. You know what I mean? But if I have a buddy with me, it makes that shared suffering so much easier. People just have a conversation with while you're running, whatever, depending on what the goal is for the day. Right?
It's the accountability portion too.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, you get 10, 15 people in a room and everybody's sweating and breathing hard, and they look at the person next to them and they're going at it too. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
How many coaches do you have at Vital?
We have 3 coaches, myself, Caroline Brinkmeyer, and Rich Smith.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So what does it look like? There's multiple classes in a day. Do y'all try to separate out how many people can go into each class, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so we have 5 classes a day, 4:30 a.m., 8:30 a.m., and then 4:30, 5:30, 6:30 p.m.
Wow.
So they're like bam, bam, bam. In the afternoons, they run like clockwork. The morning classes are like, if it runs over 5 minutes, it's no big deal. But the afternoon classes, we try to be like real structured. Yeah. So the 3 of us, I coach 3 classes a day. Caroline coaches the 8:30 a.m. and then Rich coaches the 6:30 p.m. class. As far as people, numbers go, we like a number. But if you can come to class, come to class. It's not like, no, sorry, we're at a cap. Don't show up. Yeah, perfect. We want you to work out. We want you walking through the door. So we want to make the barrier to entry as little as possible. If you start putting caps, no, sorry, we only have 3 rowers and, 3 people could come to class today, whatever it is. No, come to class. We want people to walk through the door.
That's a weird thing with these really popular things. My girlfriend goes to Orange Theory.
Oh, yeah.
In Pearland.
Oh, dude, yeah. You better book it in advance.
You got to book it. You have like an 8-hour cancellation window. Yeah. And she literally went yesterday. And I think the class is at 5 and you can be 5 minutes late. And she got there at 5:35. And she said, you're late. She says 5:35. She goes, it's 5:35 and 13 seconds.
Wow.
And so she didn't let her in.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
But they have plenty of equipment. It's just, I think places like that want to keep a kind of etiquette, so people aren't just rolling in, but also you're paying pretty good money to go.
Yeah, no, I completely disagree with that. If you want to come sweat at my place, please walk in the door 10 minutes late. There's a point where you're like, dude, you missed a lot.
Why'd you come today?
Yeah. You should have showed up for the next class. Yeah. But I would much rather somebody show up even 10 minutes late than miss that opportunity to work out. I will do my best to catch you up and get you moving as quick as possible, and let's go.
Yeah. Well, what's the saying? The only bad workout is one you didn't do, right?
Yeah,
there's a bunch of sayings, right?
Yeah, that sounds good enough. Yeah. You should put that on the wall.
You should put that on the shirt.
No, I don't
John Alvin. He didn't like it enough.
You don't like that.
He didn't like it enough.
You don't like that crap at all, did he?
No, I've heard it plenty of times. I just don't agree with it.
Oh no.
So do y'all provide any kind of nutritional coaching or helping people with outside of the gym with their lives?
So we don't prescribe anything particular. We just try to tell people, hey, eat real food. Not too much. Not a nutrition coach. So dialing into deep nutrition, you need to be licensed to do that. We have some people we recommend. We have a gentleman that's in our gym that's a nutritionist. The lady I was talking about, Jessica, she's from Bay City. She's a nutrition coach. But we keep it really simple. Hey, you should be eating, some protein. You should be eating some carbohydrates, and you should be eating some fats. But we try to keep it as simple as possible. If it grew from a tree or out of the ground, and it was on feet and eating something at one point, you should probably eat it. If it was manufactured somewhere, you probably shouldn't eat it. Yeah. For the most part, love pizza and stuff. Don't get me wrong.
Don't get a start on pizza.
Yeah, I know. I've watched a few of y'all's podcasts. Y'all start talking about pizza.
I glow up when we start talking about pizza.
You want to ask him what pizza he eats? We'll just get it out of the way.
Okay, what's your favorite pizza?
Canadian bacon and pineapple.
But from where though?
That's okay. So because there's not much in Brazoria, it's like you eat Domino's or nothing. Yeah. But there are some really good pizzas around. I don't. If y'all tried the place in West Columbia, Drenny's yet? It's pretty new.
Where's it by?
Man, whatever's over there.
We'll look it up.
I've seen some people It's a pretty new place, right?
It's new. Within 6 months or so, I bet, or less. But it's solid. Trinity's is good. We actually have a barbecue joint in Brazoria that makes some solid pizzas. They make like a
barbecue.
Dude,
what's going on there?
I don't know, but they make good pizza.
What's the barbecue name?
It's called,
Kinjo's.
Frank's.
That's it.
Is it Kinjo's?
Yeah, it is Kinjo's.
Oh my God. That dude does everything.
Dude, so they make like a brisket and sausage like pizza. They have
This is insane.
Oh no.
like a barbecue chicken. They have, I think it's like a taco pizza. We normally get, if we
Get out of here.
yeah, it's like a
heavy breathing.
we'll get normally we'll order 2 pizzas from them. It's usually the chicken, barbecue chicken, and the taco pizza. But it's legit. I'm not kidding. It's good.
Does this bread hold all this crap up?
That's
weird. The problem.
Okay, so here's the deal. Like, this is my one.
Now we're gonna get to the bottom of this.
Here's my one complaint about their pizza. The flavor is amazing. The actual dough, the crust is too hard for my liking.
You're a soft crust guy.
Well, it doesn't have to be extremely soft. I don't want it like as soon as you pick it up, it's like, you know. But at the same time, it's like it crunches.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you can fix that.
I like the crunch. Huh?
That dude, the owner of Kinjo's, he's like he owns like a trailer place too, doesn't he?
Dude, I don't know. He's in
dude's in everything.
Yeah, racing cars and all kinds of stuff.
Jeez.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of gyms around here, right? And I feel like fitness is becoming, it's the new fad now these days almost. What sets Vital apart from local gyms that are around these parts?
Oh, there's not too many actually in our area that do what we do. There's one CrossFit gym over in Richwood, which is from my place 20 plus minutes away. And people will drive that. We have people that come from Angleton, Bay City, but there's not too many in Brazoria or in our area that do what we do. Like, obviously, if you love barbells, you're going to go to, and you like Olympic lifting, that's not offered at a traditional gym, right? Like a Globo gym. You're probably going to end up at CrossFit Fortify over in Richwood, or you're going to end up at my place. There's not anybody else close. So, obviously, I mean, you guys know Kenny. Like, if you're looking for something similar, that would be their place over in West Columbia or Lake Jackson. But there's nobody that's what I was saying. Like, if you want to move a barbell, you're going to be at one of those 2 places. So there's not a lot of options in our area.
Are y'all thinking about expanding in the future outside of Brazoria?
No, let me be honest. So this is like my big, hairy, out there dream goal. Like, if I ever did expand to go to multiple gyms, I'm kind of one of those guys that I like to keep everything pretty tight. That's why we like 3 coaches, right? You go to some gyms and they have 50 members and 8 coaches. Like, what are y'all doing here? You got 3 classes a day, you know? My thought process is if we can keep our coaching quality high, then we can bring this raises the product level, right? Yeah. So we try to avoid getting too spread too thin on that. Like, I don't like to. Yeah, have too many coaches, stuff like that. But yeah, I lost my train of thought.
No, running pretty tight though.
Yeah,
3 people. I mean, do you ever have a day when someone can't cover?
Yeah, for sure. And so if somebody can't cover, we just pick it up. You know,
you're doing 3 classes a day.
I do 3 classes a day. 4:30 a.m. Dude, I would quit that. I love you guys. I would quit that class in a heartbeat if they didn't want to work out.
What time?
4:30 a.m. That's first.
Okay.
Time.
Yeah.
Which
I do the 4:30 at Grit.
Yeah, a.m. or p.m.
AM.
Yeah. So you know.
It's nice to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
So I understand that class, but if you had to do it every day, I don't know about that.
Yeah. So, I would not be there if I didn't have to. I'm not.
Are you not a morning person?
Not that early. I'm a morning person. Yeah. 6 a.m. is great, but not 4:30. Are you kidding me?
Because 4:30, you got to get up earlier than that.
Yeah. Because I'm up.
Get over there.
Yeah. I got to get there, turn the lights on, make sure everything's turned, audios.
You don't have to turn the lights on.
No, you're right.
You can make it interesting. Y'all should have a glow night.
A glow night? Yeah.
A disco ball?
Yeah.
Did we?
Go
ahead.
No, go ahead. What are you going to say?
Did we talk about this? Or is every class, do you have different classes on the weekends?
Yeah. So Monday through Friday, every single class is exactly the same. And then when it comes to Saturday, we go a 7 a.m. is more of a conditioning based workout. It will be 30 to 45 minutes long of this, just mostly cardio. Run 800 meters, 400 meters, something, come in, hit the biker or ski erg or whatever for calories or whatever. on a timer or whatever, repeat, something like that, just longer based. We spend, because most of our classes, you spend workout times literally can be from 2-3 minutes long to 25 minutes in a normal class setting, max, right? So we try to focus on intensity more than long workouts for the most part.
Wait, hold on. I don't think I understood that right. You said a class can be from 2 minutes long?
The actual intensity portion of the workout, yeah.
Holy
2 to
cow.
3 minutes. Have you ever done anything really, really, really hard for 2 minutes?
Not in his life.
I mean,
Ever.
Oh, I know one thing.
I
don't know.
Is that hard for you?
I don't know. What
are we? All right, let's move on.
Oh!
Okay. Anyways, yeah. Okay. So there's back on track here.
I knew you wouldn't get it.
I gotta control you guys. I'm
gotta
gonna have to
control
moderate.
this.
I'm gonna-
Control this, please.
Can you get on here, please?
All
moderate.
right, 2 minutes. That is a long time for an intense workout.
Yeah, so let's take something extremely intense, right? So there's a popular in the CrossFit community a workout called Fran, right? So it's 21 reps of thrusters. That's a squat, press overhead, and pull-ups into 15 of both, into 9 of both. Okay, do that workout, and if you do it between 2 and 3 minutes, you won't want to do anything for hours. Okay, so the intensity is the goal, right?
Yeah.
So think of it running like a 400-meter all-out sprint. You need a pretty solid break after a 400-meter, like everything you got.
Right.
Sprint. It's the same concept, right?
That's
we
intense.
want people's. So I mean, that's what we do, right? It's constantly varied, functional movements at relative high intensity, right?
Hit training.
Yeah, I mean, more
Right,
or less.
or no?
Yeah, to a degree. Yeah. Yes.
Pretty much.
Yeah, what's it? I feel like the lines
No,
are
if it's
getting
different,
really.
I want to know.
Well,
Yeah.
because HIIT is specifically high intensity interval training. So they may have Tabata, 30, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds rest, right? So it's intervals on purpose, right? So we may be doing straight through for 8 minutes, like AMRAP 8 minutes. So that wouldn't be considered HIIT necessarily. So
Yeah.
that's
Dabbling in a little.
that's
Tomato.
yeah, exactly. At that point, don't worry
tomato
about
potato.
that. Same thing, totally different.
He likes that. My dad used to say that. It's the same thing, only different.
Yeah.
I used to bug the shit out of me.
It's good shit. No. What were you gonna ask after that?
Do y'all do competitions? Or
Yep.
Do y'all have like a team? Y'all go do competitions? Or?
Let's get into this.
Okay.
Do you have any good competitors over there?
Sure.
They could throw on a team.
Yeah, for sure. So, yes, we compete. Usually I'll try to personally compete in 2, maybe 3 comps per year in other comps. We are doing our second one for this year, like in-house, putting it on, in 2 weeks, July 10th. I think it's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe. No, it's like 2 weeks away. Too close.
Yeah.
So we're hosting it, right? We're bringing people in to compete at our gym for stuff. But yeah, we got some legit athletes, man. We have, if obviously you should know Rich Smith. Then maybe not. Pro Team member or Grit. Yeah, he's one of our coaches.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
I think I do know him. I'd have to look up a picture.
You wouldn't see him at class ever. Maybe you would see him on a Saturday sim, possibly.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, Rich is one of the coaches at our gym. He's a super fit guy. Man, we got some really fit people. Like for real, dude. There's a few people that impress me. Like they do some things. I'm like, dude, that was pretty impressive.
Chill out. I'm the one running this place.
Yeah, that is kind of the beauty of it's almost like this. I think when I first started, you almost have this stigma of I've got to be the fittest guy in the gym.
Yeah,
dude, it's not gonna happen. There's always somebody out there who's just absolutely gonna crush you.
He's a savage.
Yeah.
What competitions are you doing? Like, what are the names of them?
So we just did one that was called Festivus. They call it Festival for the Rest of Us.
Like that.
So yeah, it's basically like, hey, you're not going to the CrossFit Games, come do our competition. So we did that one. We did one called Granite Games recently, and then other just thrown comps by other gyms. Those would be the 2 biggest ones we've done recently that are nationally known. And on any given weekend that they hold at Granite Games, there will be like 700-800 competitors at different locations doing it or whatever, maybe more than that. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Do y'all do DECA?
So, man, I was at DECA. I have not done DECA. I did High Rocks.
Yeah.
I need to do DECA. I need to do it. I was at the DECA Strong recently over in West Columbia when they did it at Grit. Went over there and hung out and checked it out. I need to do that one soon. It looks super fun. But no, I did High Rocks right before they shut everything down in 2020 in Dallas.
Oh, wow.
So it was like we did High Rocks in the age group division. So for me, I was 35. So I think it was 30 to 35 or something like that.
It's tight.
We took like second place or third place, I think, at that. I don't remember. We got a little thing. Whatever. It doesn't matter. Irrelevant, right?
Yeah. But so you're going to make a team or what?
For what specifically?
What I'm getting at.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to.
We want to be on your team.
No, I want y'all to compete against Grit.
And what exactly?
I want you to invite them to your competition.
Okay, so here's the deal.
I just want a rivalry in this. I
know. That's what you're an instigator. Aren't
Yeah,
you?
I think so.
He's trying to instigate something.
Year one of Grit Games, I showed up with me and two buddies. We did the open division teams, and we won that. The following year, we showed up and we did it, and we placed second to Johnny, Joey, and a guy named JD, I believe his name was. We took second to them in the open division teams, and then they went where the teams were only for pro, I believe, the next year after that.
Oh, okay.
And I'd much rather do team workouts. Or what competitions, personally. And of course, Rich, he's on the Grit Pro team. He's a vital member coach. Yeah. Like if you asked him what he does for training.
Is he a spy?
No.
I'm joking.
So,
but not.
So if you ask him what he did for training, he's like, I train at Vital. Right.
Yeah.
So he will go over to hone his OCR skills on, Saturday sims and stuff like that. But he does, what we do Monday through Saturday, really. So, yeah.
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, because you have competitions. Kenny has competitions.
Yeah, I mean, it's just way different. Okay, not way different. So we had one member come over, Josh Shaberg. He came over. He's a coach at the West Columbia branch. He came over and competed in the one in January that we held. It's just because of the skill level of some of the movements we do. It's a lot harder for somebody to just walk in and do the competitions that we hold. If you don't know how to do a barbell snatch or something like that, it's going to be hard for you to walk in the door and then go, okay, I want to do this, right? And same can be said for OCR, like Grit Games. Like if you're not at least competent at like doing like some of the rigs, you're just not going to do well. Period. You can go in there and you can have fun, but if you want to compete,
you're not going to play.
You better know your stuff. It's the same thing. Like that's what, like if I went over there, like now, when I go over there, like if I was going to compete again, I would absolutely get smashed on anything rig wise. Just don't train. We don't practice it.
That kind of reminds me of Lauren. She has trouble with a spear throw, and
that's like so weird because I'm super slow, but I've never missed a spear throw.
That's a weird one though.
That is
like
very,
why is that in there?
That's a very odd
like spear throw because Spartans, man. You got to throw a spear.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's like the one thing that's holding her out a little bit is the spear throw.
Yeah. Dude, she's crazy fast.
That's what I like about all this. So, like, your gym has competitions, maybe Grit has competitions, and maybe another gym, and then it turns into this mixed martial arts of things. So, like, Grit goes and does something they don't normally do, and they all come and do something y'all don't normally do.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like what discipline does better in the competitions, just like jiu-jitsu or whatever.
Yeah, I think that like that's why like the High Rocks, the DECA, stuff like that. It's kind of like I think it's a better like a mix. It's a better mix than like OCR specific or cross. Like what we do. Like I try not to say CrossFit, but yeah, the methodology with the lifting and stuff. Yeah, functional movements.
Yeah. CrossFit with two T's.
Or three S's.
Everything said today is with two T's.
Yeah. So covered. Right, if it's not on the, I wouldn't say extreme side, but I think it's a better meld of all of it as far as like pure functional competition wise goes. There's enough running to say that's a running event. There's enough movements other than, outside stations that to say, okay, now we've entered to another realm, right? So I think like really early on, if you go back and you look at early OCR, it was a lot of CrossFitters involved in that. It was a ton of CrossFitters, in fact. And then it started becoming like runners started like going, oh, this is something we could do. But you look at the early stages, everybody's wearing like CrossFit Innovates and stuff, like the original CrossFit shoes and stuff. Yeah. But anyways.
Yeah. I think it's all these things are trying to find their place because they're close, but they're kind of different. But I think we're getting closer to getting labels for them.
Yeah. I think that's like the beauty of all of it, right? So Kenny and I are really good friends, and we talk frequently, but we are two different people. Like our gyms are different. He has a method, the way he likes to train and thinks about training is different the way that I think about training. And that's the beauty of what we do. It's just two different things, everybody can like either or, it doesn't matter, and same thing for the CrossFit gym over in Richwood. I've never walked in their gym, but I guarantee you they train differently than we do, just simply because everybody, if it's led by a person, their influence is going to be on it. Right.
For sure.
So whenever, for us early on, like I was just like when we first opened 2018, I was in the heaviest part of my running, 2017, 2018 into 2019. I was in like the heaviest portion of my like running time. We spend a lot of time running. Imagine that, and working on conditioning, right? And we still do a fair amount of running, but it's not as much as it was at one point. There was a time you could come into our gym and you can guarantee like we were gonna bike, row, or run 4 out of 5 workouts, and there's going to be, barbells and pull-ups and everything else in between, but you were going to touch all of those, and not that our training has changed a ton, but I would say that we are currently more, we're lifting more weights currently, right? And it constantly changes. Like we're in a strength cycle right now, so we're guaranteed to get you under hard, a moderately heavy barbell, like at least once a week, right? So it just constantly revolving around, as soon as we get through this strength cycle in the next few weeks, we'll be back to conditioning heavier and stuff like that. So it's just constantly moving around.
You mentioned running. Did you do ultras too?
Yeah. So I did Brazosbin 50K, 2018. That was my first solo ultra. I did Ragnar Relay actually with Kenny in 2018, and he's the one who taught me to do the Brazosbin. And he's like, "Oh, dude, we just did Ragnar. You're in shape to do this right now."
That's a good impression.
You can do this right now, And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, I can do this right now. And it was, dude, I crashed super hard that race. I was about 20. My watch died, so. Apple Watch is terrible. I was like probably 22 to 24 miles in, and I crashed super hard. I didn't take in anything other than water and electrolytes.
Holy crap!
So
Where's your problem?
Crazy.
I didn't know any better, dude. It was my first race. I'm like in my mind, I'm like literally, I'm gonna run the entire thing, other than stopping for water and to take in some electrolytes. That is gonna be it the whole time, dude. I was not ready for that at all.
Those calories are important, man.
Yeah,
so
I got to a aid station at like, I don't know, maybe mile 27 or so, and I ate some food at that point, dude, and it changed my world. Like gummy worms changed my life right then.
Oh, sugar rush,
dude. It was bad though. I mean, like when they talk about like that like true drop off wall that you hit, like I sat down in the middle of the trail for a solid like 3 or 4 minutes, and the only reason I got up is I heard some ladies talking come around the corner.
They were just laughing and chatting her up.
Chatting it up.
He's like
stretching it out.
It was so muddy that year. So like your shoes weighed like 1,000 pounds, dude. And you're running between mud and like gravel. So there was like rocks, and you're just collecting it all.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so bad, dude. It was pretty rough. I did it in like just over 5 hours, I think.
Was that Brazos or which one you referring to?
Yeah, it was Brazosbin 50K.
You see how everybody always says it was muddy that year?
Yeah. It's like every
always
year.
muddy that year. Yeah.
You almost need to run barefoot for that sucker.
Dude, it was
to swim some of the sections is what I'm hearing.
No, that was Different
Last time.
race. No, that wasn't even Brazos Bend. That was at whenever Kenny did. Grit held
Wasn't that
it.
Brazos Bend?
No, they held it at Hanson Park.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
That's
totally
why
different.
I was confused.
Yeah, totally different area.
Where is Brazos Bend at?
Brazos Bend.
I'll show you. It's right down the road.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really Brazos Bend, dude.
I don't know,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I'm not from here.
Just
so I don't
point
know.
somewhere, and then,
Yeah.
then the
They
conversation
have
goes.
no
It's right over
idea.
there.
Oh, it's that way.
You'll just pop a map
Oh.
up on the screen.
Yeah.
It's over here.
Yeah, we need a screen so we can look at that. It'll take a long time to look up.
Yeah. So 50K. So we did Ragnar straight, like, it was like stupid. I want to say it was within like a month later. Like, he talked to me, he's like, let's do this 50K. So I ran the 50K. And then that same year, we ran Habanero 100 as a 4-man team.
I did this too.
Oh, so you were the fourth man in that team, as he was talking about.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't
Were you on
know.
his team?
That year, yeah.
That was with Chris. Was that
No.
That was a different one.
She ran it. She ran with somebody else
Okay.
that year. No, he ran. So he did it with us as a team that year, and then he ran it solo the next year, I believe. But yeah, something like that.
I think that's coming up again. Are you going to do that again?
Absolutely not.
Is that
No.
a one-time deal?
So my last ultra was Ragnar Trail. Was it 2019? Yeah, I think it was 2019. Yeah. So fall of 2019, I think it was like October or something like that. That was my last. And that was, hey, dude, we're some guys from the gym. Hey, dude, we had 2 people drop. You want to come run this with us? And I had ran 3 miles. Like I'd ran like 3 miles, I think, on a Saturday, like twice in like a month or something like that. At that point, we run in workouts, but it's not the same as training to run. It's not the same thing at all. So I had like specifically ran like 3 miles like twice on 2 different weekends. Yeah, like on Saturday, like just go run 3 miles real quick. And they were like, hey, we need people to pick up. So ran that and did well until my last run. My last run was at like 6:30. Started at 6:30. It was a 7-mile loop through the hill country, and dude, the sun came up and it got humid. And I'd been running all the other ones with no water. Why? It's only a few miles, not a big deal. I got like 4 or 5 miles in and like just completely dehydrated. The last mile, I remember like running and I was staring at the ground. I could see like the dust coming off like, off my shoes, like on the trail. And like, that's all I could focus on. Just move your feet, dude. I got in and, so Kenny was running on another team. He was waiting on his, he was running with grit guys. He was waiting on one of his teammates to show up to take off for his final leg. And he saw me walk in. He's like, dude, are you okay? Handed me a bottle of water. And I just like drank it and laid on the floor, laid on the grass for like a while. It was bad. I got dehydrated. It was not good. I was not prepared to run that either.
Son of a gun.
Those, taking in water and electrolyte, that's really important.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I felt like I was doing good, but I was like my last run was like 2 a.m. or something like that. And so I went in, I drank some water, and then I went straight to sleep and tried to sleep. And I didn't properly hydrate for my last run. And on top of it, so it'd been cool all night long. And then right as the sun came up, it went from like 50s to like 85 and super humid. And it dehydrated me like that.
You always hear those ultra runners talking like, if it happens, if you get dehydrated, if it like it's too late, you can't.
Oh yeah, it was over with. Like the last few miles, it was about a mile and a half, 2 miles, something like that. I was just trudging. Like,
That's a perfect word.
God, please help me finish this. If I fall over, hopefully somebody will drag me to the finish line. It was pretty rough.
Drag you.
Yeah. Well, or call somebody, please.
Oh my God.
Mike just did a 43 miler.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
How'd they go?
It's okay. I did it.
He ran 3 miles a couple weekends too.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, that was my training. I'm just not, I don't know. Maybe it's not my thing. But I went with some people that really run, and I held them back a lot. But we were like, we had like, I don't know, like a big Ziploc full of bars and gummies and all that stuff. So we did that. We're actually pumping out of the rivers around there, leading into Lake Superior.
Yeah.
So that was something I never did. We had to fill up 4 times throughout the run. So we'd get empty, and then we'd get the little filter out, and we'd pump out of the river, fill our pack up, fill it with some tailwind, some electrolytes.
I hate tailwind. It tastes terrible.
Well, when you drink it enough, you'll hate it.
Dude, it was bad. I didn't like it at all.
Which one did you have a flavor?
I don't remember. It was I haven't had tailwind in probably 2 or 3 years, but I remember every one that I tried. I was like, this is disgusting. It's like, well, I think it was like, for me, it was like the chalky. It had this chalky aftertaste, and I didn't like it at all, man.
Yeah, it is tough to take it down.
Yeah, didn't care for it.
I think I was doing the lemon one, and it wasn't very good.
Yeah, you got to pick I'm doing green tea with caffeine in it, and I haven't got sick of it yet. I haven't finished the bag though.
He's like, I've had it once. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that might be it.
That's the spot.
All right, so new person going to your gym.
Yep.
They come in. Do you have a grace period where they can try the gym before they commit? Yeah,
so we do one class. Like, you show up, if you don't love it right away, you get really one impression with people. I know you can do they can have a week or whatever, but they're going to know on day one if they want to come back. They're going to go, okay, the environment here is right for me. They may not love the workout, but it's really, at the end of the day, like, if they connect with somebody in the class, they connect with the coach, whatever it is, they're coming back, right? Or they're not. Right. You get one shot. That's the truth. I mean, that's what I believe anyways. I believe you have one real shot at, like, gaining a member. And if they don't connect right away, they're out. They're checking out,
Right.
So we offer one free class. You walk in the door, and we try to do our best to, I tell people when they walk in the door the first time, I was like, look, I want you leaving feeling like you could have done more today, because I don't know what your fitness level is. So if you've been on the couch for 15 years and haven't done anything, or you train every day, I still want you leaving going, I probably could have done a little bit more, unless I know, like, hey, he or she has a substantial fitness background. I'm like, okay, then we'll push you a little harder. But most of the time it's like, hey, let's leave going, I could have worked a little bit harder, because most likely they're going to go home and go, oh my God, my legs hurt so bad, or whatever, right? The soreness is going to set in and everything else. So we try to, like, I wouldn't say baby, but we try to, like, really baby them into it. But yeah, I really believe, man, get one shot.
Yeah.
If they don't like you, or they don't like the atmosphere or whatever, they're not coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it, man. So
do they have you have the different skill levels, and then you're one person. Are you able to focus on everybody and form and all that? Because a big thing with CrossFit in the beginning was people were, like, going all out.
Craziness,
and then when you're around other people that are going all out, you try to go harder, and maybe you don't focus on form. Yeah. Are you able to kind of nip that in the butt?
So that's the beauty of coaching, right? It is a skill that is practiced, and you better be practicing it. So the better you get at coaching, the better you can manage a class, right? So day one, I was not the coach I am today. I better not be the coach in 5 years or next year, right? The same coach. I better be better. But managing people and movement is just part of the gig. You better get better at it. That's why, like I said, I try to keep it pretty small on our coaching staff, because I want your skill level to be high. I want you to be able to go, that's not right. Let me correct that. This person moves really well, but we could make it better, right? So you need to have it all in the bag. So it's a constant, like, coaching, like, development too, man. You better be, like, learning, paying attention the whole time.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do y'all go out and get recertified, or go to classes, or?
Yeah. So I try to do at least one continuing education a year. And I push my guys to do it too. Like, do something to learn something new. Because it not just, you may be learning something that may not even be that relative to class setting itself, but it just turns your mind on to where you need to be. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if you can get somebody to engage in one thing. So I took a class recently by Active Life RX, and it was mostly about movement screening, right? It had very little to do with, like, coaching in classes. It's more one-on-one, like, hey, move through these ranges of motion. Can you do this, or can't you do this? This lets me know if you could do these movements, not do these movements. But what it did was I walked back into class, right, reinvigorated to coach people, right? Not necessarily just one-on-one, but like an entire, just, if your mind if you're learning, you try to apply it in any way possible. So
yeah. You into like motivational videos and self-help books and all that stuff?
He's smiling because you've seen some of that.
I mean, yes and no. Obviously, like there's the people you always see. You see the Goggins and stuff like that, right? And sure, I enjoy it. I'm very, very big on like mindset, big time. Like we push it every class. We close every single class with a thought for the day. So we want people to leave thinking about something. It may not change their life, but hopefully they can think about it. Little bitty things from quotes from Marcus Aurelius and some of the Stoics and stuff like that, to some biblical principles, to just mindset things about how you process the workout. Focusing on the workout, quit worrying about your neighbor. Stuff like that. Because man, we talked about earlier, shared suffering. Well, there's also comes into the competitive play into that, right? Yeah. So it can become detrimental to your actual fitness gains to a degree. Is it important to a degree? Yes. Is it not important to a degree? Yes. It's relative, I think, to each individual. We have people who walk in the gym and their goal is to absolutely just have the highest lift, the fastest time of the day. Right. And I'm fine with that. That's cool. Right. I'm there too. I want to try my hardest and I, want to put my score on the board and hopefully win that day. That's fine. Yeah. Right. But we also preach at the same time, if that's your first goal, you're losing because you're probably taking shortcuts and movements to get there. Right. Not always. Right. But if your first focus is on somebody else and beating somebody else, you're competing every single day and it can become a detriment to you becoming better. Does that make sense?
Oh, definitely.
So we promote, hey, move better. The better you move, the more efficient you get. Then you move faster. And then guess what? You beat them without even having to go through all the extra hoopla of like struggling through it, right? Whatever. Sure. Yeah. So, but yeah, we love to impart something on the class every single day. So we just throw something out, mindset, boom. Like today's was, here, I'll read it to you.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Get inspired here.
Can you rap it?
No. I'm really white, so no.
John's got a beat.
I got some on this hotkeys here.
I think we actually do have something on there.
Let's see. What was today's? I got to go back and find it real quick. I should have had this prepared if I known I was going to talk about it.
I like this quote earlier. You better be better. That's the one that needs to go on the wall.
Is that the one?
That's just good enough, man. You can put that in the back of a shirt. Vital.
Yeah.
You better be better.
You better be better.
That's awesome.
Here we go. Here's today's quote. Okay. Right. So today's quote: if you are ever tempted to look for outside approval, realize that you have compromised your integrity. If you need a witness, be your own.
Ooh.
Dang.
So
that cuts below the skin right there, man.
So we like to leave everybody with a thought, something for the day. Like, we preach mindset a lot, we believe that the mind absolutely unlocks what you're capable of doing physically, right? So if you convince this, body's going to follow, right? Yeah. So it's always winning the battle of the mind first. So win the battle of the mind. It's something we push big. We try to leave people with a thought that is provoking too sometimes, So it's mixed all around.
Where do you get these? Or do all these come from you or your coaches too, pitching?
Yeah, sometimes. So I typically do because I coach the 4:30 a.m. class. I like set the tone for the day usually. Yeah. So I usually pick it. Either it was something from me or something I heard or something I read. So that one is from the Daily Stoic on Instagram. It's probably a month old or so, but yeah, follow them. It's super good, man.
The Daily Stoic.
The Daily Stoic. Yeah,
that's a good one, man.
Not bad.
Yeah. So yeah, love it.
What are you thinking about the whole Brazoria, West Columbia scene kind of coming up finally?
Brazoria I don't know that Brazoria is coming up, man. What do you mean?
It's slow, but yeah. I mean, like you're over there, you got other gyms over there. You have
the pizza place coming up.
The pizza, but
that's West Columbia.
I always kind of relate the two. It's my bad, and maybe I'm talking about West Columbia because they have like health is becoming more of a big deal.
Across the board, right? I think across the board, like it seems like it is. Maybe because we're conscious of it, it seems like it's.
That's more in our world.
I think it might.
So we're aware of it. It's like if you see a blue Chevrolet F or whatever, then like, or you buy one, then you notice them everywhere. So I think it's because you're in it, you notice it more. Does that make sense?
Well, I take it back. Then nothing's going right. Nothing's going different.
No, you're right though. You're right.
I know there's some meal prep places. I
Yeah.
think it's in West Columbia though.
Yeah, West Columbia's growing, man, like
Yeah.
crazy. They have a EDC over there, Economic Development Committee, that seems to like really be pushing growth in West Columbia. So they're killing it. I love Brazoria. I grew up in Brazoria. I spent 10 years of my life outside of Brazoria and then moved back. But dude, we're not growing.
Why? Because I know the school's not over there anymore.
Well, no, we still have a
Barrow Elementary.
We have Barrow Elementary still there. Yeah. And now the junior high is actually split. So it's in between. It's actually almost in Brazoria. It's just outside of
I've seen
Brazoria.
it. I know
Yeah.
it is, yeah.
So
There's just nothing there to make it grow, huh?
That's true. I always like you can pass Brazoria like in the blink of it and blink and then miss it.
I don't know that there's so we, of course, I mean, I bought the building that I bought was vacant for probably 10, 15 years, right? It's like just sitting there, just absolutely nothing going on, dude. It was a disaster. It smelled like mold. It was so nasty.
Oh no.
It was bad. It was really bad. It stunk terribly. But yeah, so man, I don't want to sound bad about Brazoria, but dude, it's really not up and coming.
Stewart's isn't keeping it alive, and Diamond S, and
Oh man,
Diamond S.
what is the other stuff over there?
That's it, dude. No,
That's pretty
so
Vital.
okay. All right, look, check it out. So
vital. Yeah,
I would say
y'all gonna be the ones to bring it back.
we're trying, man, trying. So I would say like more recent new things. You have Kinjo's, right? Bucky's built a little bit bigger, or not a little bit, a lot bigger store, a lot bigger. There are some like vendors and stuff, like small boutique type places moving into Brazoria. What I think hurts Brazoria though is because it's all like, if you're not on Highway 36 on the main strip,
Yeah.
you're just not gonna make it, right? So it's not great for walking. Like West Columbia, you could actually walk from store to store to store if you wanted to really easily, because it's kind of all intertwined and stuff. I think they have a better, like, I don't know if they have a better city layout, but I think it works better for the type of shops and stuff they have over there, because they have a ton of shops, dude. Have you been over there? It's like every corner has a new boutique on it or a ice cream parlor, what, you know what I mean? Like it's a ton of them over there.
John probably knows where those are.
A lot of small business going on in West Columbia. A lot of small business. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Well, so how can people get a hold of you and reach Vital Fitness? What's the Instagram and all that good stuff?
And the TikTok.
Oh yeah, dude, we got that.
No, don't. Dang it, we haven't got.
I was really excited there for a minute.
We ask every time,
Dude,
and no one
really?
has one.
Yeah.
Oh no TikTok. Not on it. So you can reach us at Vital Functional Fitness on Instagram and on Facebook. Phone number is 979-642. Whoa man.
Oh my God.
248-6472. There we go. 248-6472.
Okay.
Email vitalfunctionalfitness@gmail.com. Yeah.
Website?
Awesome.
Is the same?
Website, vitalfunctionalfitness.com. Yeah.
Awesome.
So just
No
if you
TikTok?
search Vital Functional Fitness, you should be able to find us on all platforms.
That's what a lot of people are saying now. That's the easy way out. I want to hear
every single one.
repeat
of them.
it, even if it's the same. No, I was just joking.
Well, I appreciate you coming on, Dale. That was fun, man.
Cool.
Rock
Thank
on. Later.
Bye.
Goodbye.
All right.
Bye.